This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code SOUTHGATE for 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgate.com.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of Capes and Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
All right, everyone. Sorry, it's my fault if anyone seems less than enthusiastic this episode. It's because this is our second attempt through. I had some equipment failure. No, not like that, Lilith.
That's what she said.
Oh! Well, yeah, it's as you can tell, it's Friday night. Lil Hellfire's drunk. So let's get to it. Capes and Lunatics, episode 110 starts right now.
Part two.
Part two. Anyway, welcome to the Capes and Lunatics, episode 110. I am Phil. Joining me again, is Florida woman herself.
Hey y'all, it is Lil Hellfire. Fight me, nerds.
Over vacation dad.
It is Charlie, the Professor S. I hope I sound better than you.
Why do I sound bad?
To me, you do, but that could be my bad connection. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you might be going in and out.
If I'm sounding good to you, I won't worry.
Lilith, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. The drink in her mouth. All right. Charlie.
I did bring my spare Wi-Fi out if I had to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of coming in and out, but
okay, let me hook up the spare Wi-Fi. 1 second.
You can probably adjust the bandwidth.
I'll be back. Well,
probably just
hotel Wi-Fi, and all the kids are on their things right now. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, I remember from
YouTube vamp.
Okay. Yeah, I remember from the Ohio trip that we were even in LA. You know, no matter how good the hotel, the Wi-Fi is crap always.
Yo, it's like a billion people on it at the same time. Yeah, all fapping away. So.
Whoa!
You know, what can you do? It's Friday night. Your kids should be in bed by now.
Yeah.
like little sweet Luca. They should be in bed by now.
Because this podcast doesn't, won't live on as a podcast at all, 24/7. Okay, Captain Pornhub. What should we talk about? What's hardly fun here? Oh, did you see Batman's getting a star on?
Oh no! I have. Oh yeah, no. Do your Batman.
I was just to say, do you see Batman's getting the character Batman is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
About damn time. It only took him 80 years.
I know, but he's still getting a Superman.
Honestly, Superman should have been first. Yeah,
but the Batman's more popular with the kids.
Well, the kids have crappy taste, and that's why I don't like them. With the exception of Luca and Charlie's kids and Kelly's kids. And my godchildren. Oh my God. I'm sorry. And you guys. Calm down. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, kids I don't know. I don't like you. Just know that. See me on the street, go to the other side. But no, I have really exciting news. Potentially. So I was kind of like being nosy today, and I stumbled across this story about J.J. Abrams possibly being our Kevin Feige. He is signing like a $500 million like thing with Warner Brothers to be like creative director for their online stuff.
And we're back. How's that?
Hold on.
And now
Lilith, all right, go ahead once again.
J.J. Abrams, the guy that did Star Trek, the movie reboot.
Yeah.
And he did Lost and, Person of
Interest. He's our new Spider-Man.
Fringe.
Yeah, but he's doing something else. Well, yeah, he's working on that Spider-Man title with his son, but what's he doing with DC?
Yeah, he could potentially be our new Kevin Feige for like the DC Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
Breaking news.
The well, I don't know. Like, I'd have to like get a hold of the contract, but that's what it seems like because that's
Didn't
a
they
lot
already
of
have a
money
Kevin
and like
Feige?
a couple of like. No, they've never had one. Never.
I thought they had
There's
promoted.
never been one solid person over everything.
I could have sworn there was someone who was supposed to be DC's Kevin Feige who was a comic book guy, and
No, he was only for a specific section. This guy is like overseeing everything to do with like live action, animated,
okay.
all the and the DC universe. You know, the DC universe shows itself too as well.
Okay. Well, technically, Feige actually was only in charge of the live action
universe, right?
Yeah, the cinematic universe. He was. It was still what's his name? The other guy who was in charge of the television universe, and I forget his name.
Was it Jeff Johns?
But they still had to answer to him, though, right?
Well, yeah. Eventually, that's.
I thought that they still had to answer to him technically, so that it didn't conflict.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. So good for J.J. Abrams. He is a popular artist.
If you say so.
Lilith, you can't, even if you don't like the man.
No, I love J. Well, I used to love JJ. I've not been a fan of that Star Trek cinematic universe. Like, he's taken too many liberties. But I love all his other stuff. Except for the ending of Lost, but that's not his fault. It's not. He stepped away long before that.
And they also wrote them.
But I really love Fringe too. So
yeah,
since season 3. Don't even get me started on Lost. But yeah, it's not. I was like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, he is an expert at revitalizing. I'll use that term with air quotes. Intellectual property that already exists. So we'll see. Hopefully, something is better than nothing at this point with DC.
So he might be the high mucky muck at DC, and now he's working on a Spider-Man miniseries with his son too. So
yeah, is his son a good writer? Do we know?
Isn't he like a teenager or something?
No, we don't know.
It might be like his first profession.
I think it's just that father-son all kind of like marketing.
Well, yeah,
maybe.
But like, I mean, you think that, but like Joe Hill is as I understand, is a really good writer. That's Stephen King's son, and I think people would like to see a Joe Hill
to get your foot in the door.
I mean,
they have done one.
Yeah, the kid could be brilliant. I just think it's they're like, oh, we can slap Abrams' name on a comic. Yeah.
Well, see, that makes me feel bad for what is it, Henry Abrams? Because it's like, would you have given him this if his dad wasn't J.J. Abrams? That's not a fun place.
Not if he was a teenager, probably not. He'd probably have to wait a couple more years.
At least he gets a shot. Then if he knocks out of the park, maybe he'll get more work, by himself.
You know what? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about business, though. Business isn't business. Business is personal.
So
it goes usually like you have to have connections. That's just how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, but when the connection is someone who's sort of opening a door for you, I think it's like Tori Spelling. I actually think Tori Spelling is not a bad actress, but I think because she only worked in her father's stuff, people tend to say, well, you're only here because of your father.
Well, that's not true. She was on Smallville for a recurring stint, so suck it, Charlie.
Okay.
Get your Tori Spelling. I'm a 90s kid. Get your Tori Spelling stuff right. Okay. And she's a great writer too. Actually, she has a couple of children's books, and she needs it because Dean owes child support. So please go help them out.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Y'all didn't know I was a Tori Spelling fan. That's fine.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I know that there is a popular understanding of Tori Spelling that is quite negative. That comes from the fact that she has gotten a lot of her work through her relationship with her father. That is why Joe Hill is Joe Hill, which is his middle name abbreviated, not Joe King, because he didn't want to get where he got because everyone says, oh, he's Stephen King's son. he got where he got because he wrote these books. He submitted them as Joe Hill and got sold and picked up. And then after he became famous, he said, "Oh yeah,
sure he did.
Stephen King's
If
son."
you believe that, you are my sweet summer child. That's all I'm saying.
I believe everything I'm told on the
Especially
internet.
in the book
Comic
industry,
Book Girl
it's very
19
small.
told me that. Comic Book Girl 19
I'll just
told
say
me
it's
that.
a small world in the literary field, and nothing is.
And Lori
it is worse than LA. It's very
Laughlin's
small.
daughter got into college on her own. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, no,
Don't make me sad. Now I can't watch Fuller House because of call out and cancel culture. I can't watch Fuller House. It was good, fluffy fun. Damn it.
Millennials.
Yeah. Well,
You know what? You
Well,
damn
to be-
Gen Xer. Kiss my grits.
to be fair, I mean, I don't think that Lori Loughlin or Laughlin or whatever, however you pronounce her name, paid money to get her kid into college makes her acting work lesser. I mean, it's like finding out that Willie Nelson cheats on his taxes. It's like it's wrong.
I was being facetious.
But it's not going to make me stop.
I was being facetious.
Yeah, but do you want to watch the work where she got the blood money to get her kid in the
well, I can't watch her original Full House because it's terrible now. I mean, I was like 3 when I was watching it. I can't rewatch it as an adult. But Fuller House wasn't that bad. I mean, it gives a reason for Jodie Sweetin to stay clean off
How
a mess.
rude.
And so, I do want to support that. Literally why like John Stamos was like, we got to keep this girl out of trouble. No, honestly, that's one of the reasons why they went ahead and greenlit Fuller House. Google
that's
it.
That's a good reason.
That's a good reason. And she can actually sing, and it's a cute, fluffy show, especially since the Olsen twins aren't on it. So,
yeah. Speaking of,
anyway, moving on. I'm just really excited potentially for DC trying to move into the right direction. Moving on. Sorry to get us off agenda.
So anyway, we me and Lil spoke about this off air, but
yes.
Do we want to? So let's just do the quick Chuck Dixon recap.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Chuck Dixon, who is he's the guy who created Bane, right?
Yes.
Yes, and he was a big writer on Nightwing, very popular writer. Turns out, bit of a racist, which, as we've said, is not that uncommon. In basically, there's a lot of people in the comic industry who are not very nice people. This should not come as a surprise. This should not come as a surprise to anyone. This goes back to Ditko, who was a objectivist, really hardcore, made The Question, who was likewise a guy who, as Lilith had said off air, social Darwinism, because evolving the trait of having money is a good Darwinian trait to evolve, But yeah, but with everything that Ditko did, it does appear that Chuck Dixon has gone a bit further and definitely is embracing what amounts to an alt-right view of the world, with the racism and homophobia that it entails.
Now, do you think he's doing that because it's okay?
Well, he thinks it's okay.
Or do you think that's how he truly feels?
No, I think that's how he truly feels. From everything I've read about him, from his defense of people that have gotten in trouble with Comicsgate to dozens of other things, it sounds like this is the kind of guy he is. As I said, he had his big break with Marvel over the Rawhide Kid book, which, like I said, to me is like the perfect book because it really did offend everybody. It offended people on the left. It offended people on the right. Offended people on the left because the Rawhide Kid was kind of stereotypically gay. As I say, it's a very Blazing Saddles kind of gay, a body kind of gay that they decided to have this character embrace, but they still made him really heavy BA. They just like to have him dress nice and be with dudes. Although they never actually said that explicitly in the book. They did it as if he was a guy who liked to dress nice, and they never and had little interest in the ladies. but they never actually had him say anything that would say, "Oh, he is clearly, obviously gay from this scene." I'm not a kiss man.
Confirmed
Yeah.
bachelor.
Exactly. It was delightful in the way that Blazing Saddles is delightful, in the sense that it is offensive in all the right ways, that everyone is going to walk away from this being offended. And if you're offended by it in a way that reveals your intense racism or homophobia, that's a good litmus test for the fact that you're a racist or a homophobe. You know. So that was his big break with Marvel. When he vowed he would never work with Marvel again, and not really missing him is what I can say. And he fell in with this crowd called Vox Day, which is a alt-right publishing company financed by alt-right sources, where they are trying to create media to push the alt-right agenda. I believe it's called Alt Force or Alt Hero or something like that. And basically it's a big white guy who beats up people of color because they're illegal, to defend innocent white girls, is literally scenes in the comic. And it is.
It's 2019. Are we sure we didn't slip into some weird Mandela effect dimension? Are we sure? Can I get back home?
Well, no, I mean, to be fair, these people always existed. These people existed in the 80s and the 90s. They were making media back then. I know,
but at least it wasn't. Yeah.
My dad, who is German, had a big D on the back of his pickup truck, for Deutschland. Those little circles with a letter with your country code on it. And somebody started slipping him basically Nazi propaganda, and he was like, "What the heck are you doing this for?" I mean, didn't say it because it was someone who left it in his truck, but there are a lot of racists out there. There have been a lot of racists for a long time. They've produced media for a long time. This is just their choice to make comic books. And Chuck Dixon basically betrayed himself by saying, "Yeah, I'm totally cool with this." And
you know what? Ever since they said Pepe the Frog, I've had a real. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, to be fair, Pepe the Frog was
was
adopted by the alt-right. He wasn't born to it,
Yeah, they ruined him.
Yeah, exactly. Chuck Dixon.
It only makes common sense.
Yeah, Chuck Dixon has been ruined by the alt-right, but he's proudly so. And honestly, but speaking about separating the artist from the work, I mean, I'm sure you can still read comic book depictions of Bane. I'm sure you can even read the DC and Marvel books he did, because as he said, there were editors that were reining him in the whole time. He said he can write whatever you ask him to. Just finally someone asked him to write, "Hey, why don't you write a racist superhero for us?" He said, "Absolutely. Hold me back. I'm writing that up," because that's what he wanted to do. And it's sad.
Ever since I started going to Comic-Con when I was 11, it's don't meet your heroes. They're gonna always disappoint you.
Well, fortunately,
it's not always true, but I hate that when you enjoy someone's work.
I said with very few exceptions. John Wesley Shipp, a lovely man.
Yeah.
A few other people too. Tom Welling's kind of shy, but still a lovely person.
Well, a lot of actors are shy. That's why they're actors, because they don't have.
Dean Cain.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
I met him with Tyler. Yeah, Dean Cain, very nice gentleman.
Yeah, and also a conservative guy.
That's Tyler.
Oh yeah, I was there. Yeah,
he's a very conservative guy, but that doesn't mean he's not a fun person to be around. And he doesn't it's the kind of conservative where he's probably as offended by the alt-right as anybody on the left is. So that's a good thing,
Yeah.
Also, Jim Caviezel's the same way too. Super religious, but keeps it to himself and super nice.
Well, and he was a Superman at some point, wasn't he? Wasn't Jim Caviezel Superman? Or I'm thinking of someone else.
You're thinking of live action Batman, aka Person of Interest.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Jim Caviezel, he's good. He was Passion of the Christ. I know that. Which is not Superman.
And Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that's something I realized. That was the big problem with Snyder, is he was trying to force a Christian metaphor on a character whose origins are actually from Judaic lore.
Yeah, that was Snyder's problem.
Yeah, well, that was Snyder's problem. He wanted to make
Well, Snyder's too
He
little.
wanted to make
Yeah,
Superman
we need to have a
Jesus.
like whenever we get together, we'll have that discussion.
He wanted to make Superman Jesus, but actually Superman is Moses. And it's two different. It's Old Testament versus New Testament. Superman is actually a very Old Testament character. He's like Samson. He's like Moses. He is not Jesus. And if you try to make him Jesus, that's when it doesn't work. That's all I'm saying, because you know what? People loved Moses and people loved Samson.
Every superhero has to have that Christian comparison. You got to have your T pose. You got to have, your trials and your tribulations.
Yeah, but
in a quote unquote desert, things like that. Like, you notice it in every single superhero movie. They do it.
Well, they do it, but Snyder didn't do it very subtly. Let's put it that way. And
he's not a subtle. He's a sledgehammer.
Yeah, I know that, but also, like I said, Superman doesn't need a passion play.
No, like the red kryptonite.
What?
His passion is Lois Lane. If the movie's gonna tell you anything, like that's my problem with all the Superman movies. He's obsessed with Lois Lane and doesn't care about any other freaking human.
Yeah.
There's double L's, remember?
Yeah, well, exactly. It is the double L's.
Yeah,
it's that
anyway,
sonic vibration, because the ear is actually the erogenous zone on the Kryptonian. People don't know that, but it's pretty obvious. Really, we don't even know if their genitals match up.
It's burned and incorporated.
They haven't done Superman Damned yet, so we don't.
That was our only.
Oh, do Superman Damned yet?
Yeah, so we don't know what Kryptonian jump looks like. They may be innies.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna need a Superman Unchained, if you know what I'm saying.
Nerds.
I'm just saying, Kryptonians aren't made the old-fashioned way.
With the package.
Anyway, so that's that. Oh, what else is in the news right now?
But Charlie, wow, when you got off and you were getting back on, phrasing, we were talking. Did you hear the character Batman is getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Are there other fictional characters on the Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Yeah,
right?
Don't some of those Star Wars characters does someone on Star Wars universe?
Yeah, I mean, Skywalker has it. No.
Okay.
Vader, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I know the actors often do.
Yeah. But I think isn't this like the first major comic book character to get a star?
Okay. Well, why not? I mean, not for nothing. All you need to get a star is enough money and enough people to sign a petition. And then the mayor of Hollywood gives you a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
Yeah, then you have to pay for like the upkeep or whatever.
Well, exactly.
Has one, so it's not.
There's actually currently an effort to get Trump's star removed. So
yes, I did hear that.
Yes, and Mark Hamill is like spearheading that campaign because he wants to replace it with
Carrie Fisher, which surprises me that Carrie doesn't already have one.
It doesn't surprise me. It's actually very hard for women to get like just generally like be like, hey, want a star? Like they have to really petition really hard for some reason.
Then I think they have some kind of weird rule. I think I heard where it's like they don't, once someone dies, they don't give them a star until like 5 years after they die or something. And it's like, why? They're giving 5 people.
Well,
why do you have to wait once they die?
I understand that, because the idea is that if you're alive and someone gives you a star, it should, because essentially from their point of view, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, it's a tourist attraction for this area of downtown.
Yeah.
So basically, can you generate enough funds with your name to get tourists here to have this? Now, as soon as you die, everyone says, oh, I loved Five-ish Finkel. He's so awesome. But, but 2 days before, were they as big of Five-ish Finkel fans as they are now that he's dead? And like 5 years from then, if they're still big Five-ish Finkel fans, then yes, let's give Five-ish Finkel a star. I think Five-ish Finkel already has a star, but I can understand why they might have a moratorium on giving you that star right when you die, because there's going to be this immediate upsurge in your tourism money that is going to trail off. But if 5 years later people are still saying, why does Five-ish Finkel not have a star? They're going to say, okay, let's give Five-ish Finkel a star. You're basic.
But yeah, no, Carrie Fisher deserves it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm surprised she didn't already have one, but
And
apparently
Chewie
it looks
deserved
like-
the medal. Let's move on.
You know, they,
Hashtag still bitter.
you know what? They resolved into the comics. He got the medal. He just felt it was gaudy and didn't want to wear it.
Oh, so the Wookiee was the only one with good taste. Okay.
Yeah, it was like,
Well,
I'm
look,
not
the
wearing
movies
that,
are the
man.
only thing in the canon for me. So whatever. It's only 3 Star Wars movies, and that's the only canon I care about since the books got thrown
Okay.
out. So whatever.
Fair enough.
Hail
Whatever.
But you do, and the Christmas special, Lilith, right? 3 movies and a Christmas special.
Yes, just for the well, it did introduce a character that became very popular. So I will give that a pass.
And it established so much about Wookiee culture. And if you will notice, Wookiees don't wear jewelry. And that's why he didn't want to wear the medal. Because Wookiees would look down upon that. That was not something Wookiees did. It was not the Wookiee way. They're not braggadocious. They're not humans, Lilith.
Hey, hey, Lilith. Why are they retiring Vertigo? Is it like a restructuring because the J.J. Abrams thing is going down, or?
I don't think it's because of the JJ thing. I think that they're just into making terrible decisions right now. This is a phase that DC's been in for a long time, and I would love for them to grow the frick out of it.
So are they
Ridiculous.
ending-
You're gonna cancel Vertigo when like literally Constantine #9 was like, oh, not Constantine. Lucifer #9 was the best book I read all week.
Oh
well, okay,
DC,
now,
Marvel, Archie, otherwise.
just out of curiosity, are they canceling the books or are they canceling the imprint? So, for example, is now
well, see, the way that Vertigo has been working right now is that they do like 12-issue arcs, and then they can go somewhere else or continue the story. But basically, they've just been maxi series for the most part for like the last, I want to say 3 or 4 years. So, but like Vertigo is a brand. Like it was its own little thing.
Yeah, but it
and
was
DC's like, oh,
That's what
come on.
Constantine was for most of his run.
But to be fair, it's a brand that everyone knew was DC.
Yeah.
It's like why for as an example, it's why you don't really have an Epic Comics over at Marvel. Because if they want to redo an Epic book, they just brand it Marvel because Marvel is. I mean, really, it's about not diluting your brand, and the brand they want to establish is DC. So whatever they're going to do, they want to make sure that it's. They want to make so they're probably still going to do.
Like I don't care about the Black Label. Like the Black Label's stupid. Everything that's came out on it's stupid so far. There, I said it. I had no other way to put it. Donk is a medical term.
Yes, but I get the feeling that what they want to establish is the idea that okay, so the DC universe is the comic book universe, and they'll still put up Vertigo books. They're just going to be under a DC centric label. So maybe they're going to call it DC Dark or DC Indie or DC.
It's DC Black, DC what else? Well, I forget the other two, but I know the.
Because I mean, they're not canceling the Wonder,
Yeah,
the Wonder imprint, right? Or is that on the block?
I think that is the third one. I think that's the third one. What's the second one?
What?
It's Black, and then it's the Wonder print, and I can't remember the next one.
Is it something with like a kid's something or other?
I thought that was Wonder. Basically, it's like for teens and fun stuff.
Yeah. Wonder Wonder comics.
Let me see.
And again, it's so they're gonna have. I don't here. I'll turn on my camera for a minute. There we go. So it's one. So you'll have a top line of Wonder Comics or Black Label or White Label, and then but it's all going to be under the DC Universe corner box. That's how I would assume.
I don't know. I just feel like they're intent on alienating people. Like, they're just changing things just to change them.
In January 2020, they're going to go three age labels are DC Kids, DC, and DC Black.
Oh, so So they are getting rid
Oh.
of Wonder Comics.
Unless they're going to fold it in somehow.
It'll be under kids probably.
Well, besides,
Oh, they shouldn't do that because it's not a kids. I mean, it's not kids. It's YA.
yeah, but
And
besides,
that's,
Have you met? Well, same difference to most people.
besides Young Justice and Naomi, everything else was like a limited series, wasn't it?
Wonder Twins, I think, is ongoing.
That's what I was thinking, and I was like, Vertigo's already doing that.
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to alienate people. They're just trying to change things. They're like, I don't know, why they're taking
Yeah.
I don't know why they're taking this
You see,
approach.
DC kids to me,
comic book fans do not like change.
I mean,
okay?
DC kids would be like Star Comics from
Yeah.
Marvel in the 80s.
But the pop-ups such as Young Animals, Sandman Universe, Wonder Comics, Wildstorm, Jinx World, and Milestone will continue, but it is unclear what age label they would fall under. So
Okay, so they're
supposedly they're continuing it. They didn't
that
have-
we know
so
of.
it sounds like there's so
They're
it
gonna
sounds like
cancel
they're
everything.
actually
Let's just be real.
no, actually it sounds like they still don't know what they're doing. Like, okay, we're gonna do all this.
Exactly.
Oh, wait, but not,
You have
but
no
not for me.
plan.
it's like, okay,
You
we're
have
gonna do
no
the Spider-Verse.
plan.
And then, but wait, let's do an Arrowverse on the side. Oh, and let's do something with Doom Patrol too. You know, it's
Soft and not quite hard.
It just looks like they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
yeah.
It's poop. It's their own poop, and we're done with it. And once it burns down, call me AT&T. I will fix it. I know people that are
Mm-hmm. Well,
itching at the chance to fix your mess. So that's all I can do is wait. I just gotta wait it out.
All right. Before we get to comics, because it is late. The other big story. I don't know. Oh yeah, the big story. I guess the MCU has been courting Keanu Reeves for been trying to force in the MCU, and everyone's been speculating who he should play.
Well, of course, and to be fair, what Feige said is, oh yeah, we talk to him all the time. We'd love to work with Keanu Reeves, but we haven't found anything to do for him yet. Which means they have no idea what to do.
Meaning they haven't met his money mark. I mean, he is doing big things with John Wick right now. Like that's a hot franchise.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they were thinking.
And then
about
he's got Billings Head #3.
Oh yeah, that too.
And you don't want to waste your Keanu Reeves. You don't want a Jack Nicholson Keanu Reeves.
To quote Wisecrack, we are the Keanu Renaissance.
Yeah, they might be waiting too because they want him to star. They don't want to just bring him in as like.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And probably if they wanted to go younger, they might have gone with him for Doctor Strange. But and I think everyone felt like he's good for Doctor Strange, but they wanted to go a little older because they wanted it more I felt.
Which is funny because I think he's actually older than Benedict Cucumber.
Well, then the man
or whatever.
should try and age. Okay, if he doesn't want to age,
he's an immortal vampire. Don't you know this about Keanu Reeves? Am I the only one?
You know who they should? Okay, you know who they should cast him as?
Who?
Dracula. They should do Tomb of Dracula, Bring Blade back.
Didn't he already play Dracula in something?
No, that was Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, but does Disney own who owns the rights to the Dracula?
Anyone who wants it.
It's public.
Public domain. Universal pretends they own it.
And there is a canon Dracula in Marvel. So
Marvel owns Tomb of Dracula. So long as they Marvel could do theoretically, if they're going to be doing. If the next phase is going to be the Dark Avengers phase, putting out some villain-centric films, like a Tomb of Dracula, where Blade is the antagonist, could be an interesting way to do it.
Well, I also saw people saying, "Oh, well, of course, he's John Wick, so it's like, make him Moon Knight or something."
Fight me, Moon Knight nerd.
Yeah, I mean,
no, he's not right for Moon Knight.
Well, I mean, I think he could do multiple personalities. I could see that
stuff.
Although a lot of
Keanu Reeves is just like Jason Momoa. It's just Keanu Reeves being Keanu Reeves. Fight me. I love Batman. Like I've had a crush on him since I was like 8, but it's true.
I will say that is actually my biggest complaint about Jason Momoa wanting to play Wolverine. Some people are saying he's too tall. It's like I don't care if he's too tall. He's
Jason
too
Momoa
jovial.
is canceled. He's
Get off that sinking
done.
ship,
Let's
buddy.
move on from Jason Momoa.
Get off that sinking ship, buddy. Nice try.
No, I'm just saying the man's too. I actually think Jason Momoa would make a fantastic Ben Grimm.
Ben Grimm.
Oh, he would be a great Ben.
Don't
Grimm.
put that into the atmosphere. He's canceled. Let's move on.
You want dude bro Ben Grimm.
Ben Grimm is a dude, bro. I'm sorry.
Bring back Chickless.
Well, yeah,
Fight me.
Chickless, you're not going to get better than Chickless. I don't know if he wants to come back and put this stuff on his face.
I was gonna say, you can CGI the voice in, or you need someone in a rubber suit, and Chickless can dub it over, dub his voice over.
Well, yeah. Well, you actually don't even do the rubber suit anymore now. They just put you in a body stocking.
Oh yeah, he just has to wear the dots on.
Somebody get Andy Serkis on the phone.
Andy Serkis actually might be a good. Well, the thing with Andy Serkis is you also have to be.
Nobody knows what Andy Serkis looks like unless you're a real Andy Serkis
I
fan.
think everyone saw Black Panther. We all know what Andy Serkis looks like.
Yeah,
now.
Exactly. Now is when we're going to make the film.
Before that,
we're not going to make the film in 1990. I mean,
as far as
know.
the
film in 1990. We're not going to go back. We haven't. We aren't the Hulk. We're not going to. Or we aren't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We aren't going to build a time machine. 4 years before the Hulk did, man. That's all I'm saying. For all of our Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans, listen to me and Maz on Enough Said.
Look at that. Little shameless self-promotion. I love it.
You created another monster, Lil Hellfire.
But
I slipped one in on Nightwing News, so.
No, I think Keanu could probably do Silver Surfer. That was something that's come up because he was in Point Break, and so he knows how to surf.
Well, he does actually surf in real life too. Outside of that, so he's very water dude.
So he's probably going to have the physicality of the role, right? And I'm sure he's got pretty good abs, so you could spray paint him silver. You don't even have to do him CGI, man. Just spray paint him silver. Or spray paint him.
This isn't 1970.
Oh,
no,
this isn't totally. I should just totally mystique him and just glue it on.
I'd be here for
basically
that.
Basically a naked Keanu covered in silver.
You get a vibrating hand. You get a vibrating hand. And I'm just gonna do this job. Keanu Reeves can get it since I have to have a new one now.
Yeah, we do need that, unfortunately. Again, speaking of entertainers who
unfortunately
have betrayed us.
Gibbs disappoints me.
Tired the other one.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, guys, want to talk some comics?
Sure.
Frick yeah.
All right.
It was a really light DC week, and that's the kind of week that I love from DC. But it was a huge Marvel week. I was just like, God.
Phil's Comics Corner.
Too much.
Yeah. That's actually funny. I only got 2 Marvel books this week, except I bought extra. And I finished one from last week.
Well, a lot of unnecessary crossover events. So,
oh yeah, it was a small DC week, Lil, because they had to put out the Superman Year 1 for what, $7.99.
Yeah, that nobody bought.
Oh,
nobody bought.
So Superman.
I mean, I think it was Tyler and 2 other people I know.
Is that a Bendis book or is that a?
It's Frank Miller.
Oh, Frank
Sucker. It's worse. It's worse.
It's worse than Bendis.
Frank Miller writing Superman.
So basically, it's you guys are all mad about Bendis. Let's bring Frank Miller back. We'll let him write Superman. Now you'll tell us if you like Bendis.
Lilith, you didn't read it?
Still, I mean, it's a toss-up. No, it's still sit.
It's okay, but it's
Tyler said he was disappointed.
Wow.
So.
When Tyler doesn't give it an enthusiastic thumbs up there for Superman, you know something's wrong. It's just I don't know.
It's Frank Miller writing Superman. Who the hell thought that was a good idea?
Plus, I don't know if he's past his prime because even I mean, well, what's that? What was that blast?
At tail end of
that last night thing. Yeah, I mean, it's all right, but it's just you could tell Frank Miller has issues with women every time he writes something.
Well, he's one of those old school misogynists for sure.
I mean, it was more.
He's definitely a product of his time.
It's Martha Kent in this telling Clark, "Oh yeah, don't do that. Don't just don't use your powers or anything." And his father's like encouraging him, and then there's like Lana Lang almost gets gang raped.
It was actually kind of the other way around in various continuities. So I'm just like, yeah.
Not for nothing. None of the Kents are like that. I don't know. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy the Kents ever telling him. I mean, I get them like, hey, don't play football because you'll wind up killing one of these kids accidentally.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I always
Smallville
got the idea that, yeah, but I always got the idea that we don't want you to do this because we're worried you're actually going to kill someone because you are superhumanly strong. And once you master that, then sure, do these things. But like, it's like one of the most interesting things to me that, in Man of Steel, you have, Pa Kent killed by the tornado. And actually in the original Superman serial, you actually have Pa Kent being attacked by a tornado, not as visually stunningly, of course, but Superman goes and saves him. And that's when Pa Kent says, actually says, with great power comes great responsibility, which is where Stan Lee stole that from. And yeah.
Because it's in black and white. Nobody cares about black and white.
No, but it was contemporary for Stan Lee. I'm sure he said, like all good writers do, that's a great line. Let me write that down. With great power.
I'm going to steal it.
Great responsibility. Yeah. Well, hey,
we don't fight me, nerd.
You know what? All the great artists steal.
They do, but you have to make it your own and make it better.
Exactly, and I think Stan Lee did that.
And I'll give him that. He did.
I
will give him that.
There's nothing original under the sun. Only because it's
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
I thought the Fantastic Four was very original in the way that he presented them.
Yeah. But no, this I don't know. This book was kind of weird because it's like, it's like Clark's trying. It's him as a kid in school. He's trying, it's like one page. He's like worrying about, he's trying to protect his friends from bullies, and then like then it gets creepy where it's just like, oh yeah, I could crush these people like they're nothing, and then it's like, oh hey, I'm gonna protect people from the bully.
You might have watched Brightburn.
Maybe, and then it's just like through the whole thing, it's like Clark seems to have like a problem with authority and stuff, but then meanwhile at the end of this first issue, he goes and joins the Air Force.
Why would Superman join the Air Force?
Exactly, and even especially
because he's got the neat. Oh wait,
and especially like if you're writing him like he has a problem with authority, why would you join the system where you're
Well, yeah, but first off, how's he going to pass the physical?
True.
They actually
a little kryptonite ring or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I haven't seen an issue yet.
Yeah,
they didn't.
They actually had Superman once get drafted. They had Clark Kent get drafted, but he failed the physical because he his X-ray vision
poor.
Yeah, exactly. Because he read the chart on the next room instead of the one that was on the wall. Because apparently they have different charts on each wall. And they said, "You're blind. You can't."
Well, it could have been somebody else at the other one. That you have to. I don't know. I have super good vision, so I have to get to the third chart. But I have a slight astigmatism now, so we did go through multiple charts.
But Clark Kent basically read, or he read when they said read the last line, and he just read the copyright like Bugs Bunny did. But he just read the letters, so they said, "Oh, that's completely bad." Those aren't the letters at all. Remember that when Bugs Bunny got drafted and he read and they said, "Okay, read the lowest line you can," and he said, "Copyright 1938." Yeah, and Clark, and maybe that was what Clark Kent did, but basically he fails because they didn't realize he actually had superpowers. So I don't believe that. And especially when they do the physical exam and they realize your genitalia is not a human genitalia. That's clearly a squid.
How do we know for sure, though?
What are the odds that the genitalia of a...
I mean, he did have a baby with Lois. So.
Well, okay. So, here's what I'm going to say. Because reptilians reproduce in the old-fashioned way, the need for a physical member becomes less necessary.
Dong is a medical term.
Exactly. So it is most likely that Kryptonians, maybe just have what is it called? A Coachella, just a Coachella. Just one hole does it all.
A Coachella? Where are all these?
Is that what that music festival is all about? I definitely don't want to go.
It's a Coachella, I believe is what it's called. Or it's something. It's what birds have.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Coachella. Wait, this podcast isn't sponsored by Coachella, but if they want to, we will take their money. We will take their dirty, wannabe hippie money.
Yeah. Which all actually means that all those aliens from that bird world in Marvel probably all have that too. Which is why, falling in love with that.
Ew,
that's
birds.
Birds are dirty animals.
Birds, kids,
They
most life forms Lilith has a problem with.
Well, most life forms are awful. That's what Thanos, said.
Humans, most of all.
Yeah. Except, he didn't.
Except for
I was listening to one of the many great takedowns of Thanos, and they pointed out that wiping out half the universe would actually just set humanity back to 1970, because our population has already doubled since 1970. So it's basically set us back.
But Thanos wanted to die to be with Lady Death.
I'm talking about the movie
here.
Yeah,
I mean, isn't that obvious? That's what he wanted. Because his plan was stupid otherwise. Yeah, moving on.
That was another fan. I think that was actually the Carmen brothers again, where they suggested that actually he had a relationship with Hela before she got imprisoned, and he sort of turned away from her, maybe because he didn't want to take the secondary seat and didn't want the small throne in Asgard, and
as men do.
Yeah, and that's when he says to Gamora, he ignored his destiny once. Yeah, that was his destiny. He didn't join with Hela and conquer the universe. Although I am working on
missed opportunities, bro. Missed opportunities.
I am working on a new blog post that explains how Thanos actually accidentally destroyed Titan. Because I realized that Thanos is the one who destroyed Titan. That in his attempts to save it, he actually wound up destroying it. And that's why he's so obsessed with they didn't take my first idea. So my first idea would have worked. But I'll get to that in my blog post. Superconnectivity blog coming to you soon.
Look for that. Look for that in 2021.
No, I'll get it. I'll probably write it this weekend, because when I actually write something, it usually goes in about a day. I do 6,000 words in a day, and that's fine. Just I have to have an inspiration, Phil. If I don't have an inspiration, I can't write. The second inspiration pops in, and I'm like, oh, there you go.
He says he's not a trained monkey, Phil. Knock it off.
Doesn't inspire you.
You guys inspire me to you guys inspire me in so many ways, just not appropriate for the Southgate media posts. So trust me, there's all kinds of Captain Lunatics fan fiction that will never see the light of day.
He's like, dog is not a medical term, and I will fight you.
I'm not saying what happens. I'm just saying sometimes I get inspired.
Anyway.
Okay, let's talk some Marvel. What books did you get, Charlie? Or do you want to save that for Superconnectivity?
I got another half hour for Superconnectivity just talking about Far From Home theories. So who read Captain America?
Okay.
Me.
Lilith? No.
By Ta-Nehisi.
No. Have you met me? I hate Captain America.
By Ta-Nehisi Coates, you don't read this?
Okay.
And look, feminism.
Nope.
Yeah, well,
Kelly Thompson couldn't get me to read Captain America.
You know what?
And I read Captain Marvel.
You know what? You know what you might like about this episode? It basically shows that Captain America's big blue Boy Scout and how that bites him in the butt at the end of the episode, because he's essentially he basically doesn't see the betrayal of the prisoners he's breaking out to get out. Or actually, he says, "I knew I should have seen it coming, but I hope they wouldn't." Oh,
Well, like I already know that
yeah,
about Captain
but they
America.
really, they
Like
really
Tony Stark
illustrated
is the
me.
captain of bad life choices.
Yeah.
Steve is lieutenant. Okay, bad
But
life
they
choices.
illustrate it nicely, and the Invisible Woman and Misty Knight come to his rescue. But actually, what I really like is I have a fan theory about Dryad. That Dryad is the child of a Sharon Carter and Captain America from a Hydra-ruled universe from the Secret Wars comics. And the way that Sharon and Dryad are interacting, there seems to be a connection there.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, when let's see, because he actually mentions this thing about old friends, sisters, mothers, daughters,
Mm.
and none of these people are anyone's daughter except for possibly Dryad. So I
mean,
get.
it's even on the cover, the daughters of Liberty.
Oh yeah, well that's a play on the Sons of Liberty, so that might be it too. But I'm trying to remember what her code name is too. Her code name in this is. Let's see, there's Dryad. Because Sharon is Gaia, the Earth Mother character, is the Earth Mother, of course, and Dryad is Hera. Oh, and Hera is a daughter of Gaia. So, ooh, and that's interesting because Hera is a mother goddess, but actually Gaia outranks her. So, I don't know, man. I think they're gonna eventually. I think Ta-Nehisi Coates might be about to reveal that that's actually Sharon Carter and Steve Rogers' child from another universe. Because let's not forget, Steve Rogers and Sharon Carter did create a child in the 616 that was killed by Cynthia Schmidt when stabbed her very easily. Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed Captain America a lot. Phil, what did you think?
No, I'm liking this. And did you see? I guess Cap's going to be on the run now that he escaped prison.
Of course,
since he's been framed for the murder of Thunderbolt Ross.
As you do.
Which when is he coming back? Because all these Gamma people are coming back.
Oh, he's already back. You just don't know it. He's laying low. That's the thing. It's like, unlike everyone else, he's not going to go up and jump up and say, "Hey, I'm back, guys. I'm still alive." It's like, no, I'm going to. First off, he's probably going to show up in Immortal Hulk, and he's going to take down Fortran, whatever his name is. Is that a programming language?
I don't know, but I mean, I could see Ross being behind it, pulling the strings and behind a lot of things. Watch, that'll be like one of the next events is like, Thunderbolt Ross manipulating everyone.
Well, no. Well, actually, that'll be his heroic turn. Because not for nothing, he has to redeem himself because of everything. So he's got to come back and he has to say, well, actually, I'm the guy that undid the whole thing because I actually came back to life because gamma powers. So
yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah, it's a good theory. I buy everything you're selling there today. But Lilith, I know you said Marvel, but you probably didn't read Batman, right?
No, sir, I did not. I told you I'm out. I'm done.
I know. Well,
except for when you need me to fill in.
Well, I know. Well, Flashpoint Batman has captured Bruce Wayne because he's kind of working with Bane. Because Flashpoint Batman, he's like kind of like he doesn't want Bruce to be Batman. He's like,
Wait, isn't that Thomas Wayne?
Yes, yeah. He doesn't want Bruce to be Batman. He's like he wants him to have a better life. So, yeah, he was helping Bane take him down. He kind of captured him. Then they're like wandering through the desert for the most of this issue. You know why?
With the horse with no name. Okay, we get it. We get it.
Wow.
Dirty hippies.
Well, Thomas is going to give them both a better life because they're going to a Lazarus pit to resurrect Martha Wayne.
So she can be Harley Quinn. Okay, that's fine.
That doesn't sound like a well thought out plan. Because first off, hasn't Martha?
He's also a Wayne. Wayne's
I know it's not even
like Osborne's. Apparently, who knew?
It's not even his Martha. He's from like another timeline, another universe. Thomas.
Yeah. Well, and actually, his Martha is actually alive in his timeline.
Well, she became the Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So why does he want to bring her back to life? How does he think? Oh, this is gonna work?
Because
she'll be alive, her son will be alive. Only I'm dead in this universe. Except if you do that, then she's gonna say, "Well, you're not actually my Thomas."
Yeah.
Because my Thomas is dead. Why didn't you bring back my Thomas? Why do you think you?
I don't know. Martha was a little bat guano insane on a whole nother level. It's a discussion for another time, but it's a plan so crazy.
And
in DC universe, it might actually work for a minute.
The Lazarus Pit makes people insane anyway. But yeah, Thomas Wayne, as much as you think of Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne's even the bigger captain of bad life decisions.
No,
well, I don't know. I mean, he was smart enough to ally with the Penguin to, open a casino in Gotham to finance everything. Because what better way to finance your war on crime than to take money from the poor and stupid?
I closed my Trump.
The government does it.
No, the government takes
the lotto.
Cigarettes.
No, cigarettes are a tax on people that are addicted. That's not being poor and stupid. That's being addicted.
Addicts.
Yeah. And whether or not you're poor or not, that has a lot to do with other things. But you have an addiction, and if you're going to be addicted anyway, we might as well make $1 off of it. Is the government's view.
All right, someone else throw out a book.
Daredevil.
Oh, Daredevil 7, yes.
Miles Morales.
Okay, we can do that. Do you want to do Miles Morales first?
But Daredevil was good too. I read Daredevil.
Okay. I haven't read Miles Morales, so I do want to hear what happened with him. Because I was like this close to reading it, but I'm like
Oh, it's just a spotlight on his family. It was very into if you liked Into the Spider-Verse, because Patrick O'Keefe did the cover, and he also gave them a couple of hints. So it was really cool to see his family and how it's called A Day in the Lives. And it was just fun seeing everybody. And then also we kind of resolved that first arc, the drama of the first arc, and we got to see Bombshell's reaction, and I really appreciated that.
Very cool.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie, you probably know because you're breeding champions. Did he quit the champions? Because I swear he threw out a
Miles. Well, yeah. Miles, he walked away from the champions because he sold everyone's soul to Mephisto. Okay.
Because he is a Spider-Man after all. Mephisto loves him, Spider-Man.
And, I was reading I was watching John Solo, and he was doing the Rumpelstiltskin's origins, and he was talking about one of the versions where a girl sells her soul to make sells her soul to a devil to make things, and when she eventually guesses the name or gets the name, the devil's not mad about it because he says all you've done is delayed the inevitable. And that's the thing. That's Mephisto's view. It's like, I've corrupted Miles Morales, and I'll get his soul eventually. It's fine. I don't need his soul right now. It's coming. It's coming. These heroes, they think they're so pure. They all wind up here.
You better learn how to play the fiddle quick.
Oh, but
Miles or Mephisto?
Miles.
Okay.
Miles. That's one of my favorite little stories about the devil.
Yeah, you can always challenge him to a fiddle contest. Funny story is, the devil's not that good at the fiddle. It's just that he always judges the contest.
Not in Georgia.
Exactly.
But Mephisto's all interested in Spider-Man. First it was Peter, then he was showing up with Ben, and then now he's got stuff with Miles, and he's even a little interested in Otto.
Well, of course,
he's obsessed with Spider-Man.
Because the Spider-Men are bound to the web of the universe. Meaning that as goes the Spider-Man, so goes the universe. So if you can control the Spider-Man, you can control the web of life. It actually makes perfect freaking sense.
Gwen Stacy's our only hope.
Gwen Stacy is always our only hope.
Save the Spider Ghost.
Actually, no, Otto's our only hope
man.
Because he was the one smart enough to start cutting up that web of fate. To say, this is why we're having problems, because we're all connected.
That's gonna backfire in and of itself, but it's fine. You just hold on to your little
everything backfires. That's the point.
He is like the sergeant of poor life decisions.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a debate someday about which spider's the best.
Yes.
Big Riley.
I know, Will.
It's about which spider's
Clones
the
that
worst.
crumble in the dust. Yes.
Oh, but no, Charlie, you mentioned Daredevil 7.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay, here's my thought. Why is Matt so worried about the sin of murder when he? Well, I mean that's the worst one, but it's like, but he's not telling the nun about how he's lusting after another man's wife.
well, yeah, because he's just coveting. He hasn't. He hasn't. You know, first off, murder's way higher than coveting.
People's, he's coveted.
You know, covered is such a small sin. They actually eventually merged just to make an extra one for taking a day off on Sunday. They later merged covet your neighbor's wife and covet your neighbor's stuff. They actually merged those two. So there would still be 10 because there was like, do we really care if people are coveting? You know.
Yeah.
That's why it's at the bottom.
Well, yeah, it is. It's like 9 or 8, or it's killing is much
Yeah,
higher.
it's 9 and 10.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
But all sins are equal, Charlie.
And from an esoteric sense, yes, all sins are equal. From a practical sense, no sin is equal. I mean, that's the thing. It's like what makes something a sin is your heart in the act of it. And also, and if you're a sociopath, your heart is never really in it, which is why everything a sociopath does is a sin. It's very.
I mean, coveting, you can always turn that around eventually. Murder, there's no going back from that.
Yeah. And to be fair, what it isn't that he murdered. It's he's realizing that when you murder someone, there's other people who feel the pain of it. Yeah. That basically his solving problems with fists just isn't working.
Yeah, I like the realism of like that vigilante life. I really like that Detective North got a chance to shine. I felt like that was like that character was very dull for a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in here. Although I do like Foggy asking Matt if this is him in the paper. And Matt's like, look, just because I retired doesn't mean you can just tell everyone I was Daredevil.
He's just shouting it out in the middle of the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the Kingpin going legit?
Well, legit is a very it's not really because first off he's
in this day and age, corporate raiders, okay,
he's just stick to the evil of politics or so.
No, okay. Just to call a shelter have an entrenching tool, he's not going legit at all. He is separating himself from the business, but he's basically doing what Donald Trump does. He's putting it in a trust where he still can do whatever he wants with it. He's still going to get money from it, but officially he's not involved. So he's putting the mob in a blind trust while he's mayor, which is, basically ridiculous. But that's the Kingpin. He's,
better than what I ever did.
Yeah. He is pretending that he's going legit, but he's doing nothing to actually go legit.
Wrong.
Then we do see our other Daredevil lady, or Lady Daredevil, punching people.
Lady from the shop last issue, yeah.
Yeah. And then we come to, of course, the very end where Matt is still using his superpowers, but he's using I don't have the camera on. He's using it to call the cops.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to say this. No pills this issue.
Nope.
No pills at all. But we're still using a red, white, and blue filter. And as he's doing this, he is shaded in blue. His eyes are blue. I still think the red, white, and blue is coming back. Because I do feel we still have a lot of that color palette being used. We certainly have pinks and for what it's worth, the lines between all of the panels being so boldly white kind of makes me think that there is some. I am not convinced that the red, white, and blue is gone. yet that the pills are not an issue, because just because we aren't seeing him use the pills doesn't mean he's not using the pills. Maybe bird me, man.
You think those nuke drugs?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. I mean, the reds were the violence, and we always saw when he was building himself, and it was always that red tinge when he was getting into his kind of crazy mode.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see the pill he was taking, but then and in red, white, and blue, blue was sort of the middle one, whites were the ones to calm you down, and the reds were the ones that ramped you up. So, I still think that has not been forgotten yet. So that's my opinion. Everyone can have their own.
All right. Anyone else got any other books before we get out of here?
I just want to say you guys should read Lucifer on the Vertigo imprint while you can. We're at number 9. I'm really into horror comics. So like I was really surprised that Lucifer, that this was the take that they decided to go with the new Lucifer story, but this particular issue has this is like basically a standalone episode issue, so you can just get it, and if you like it, you can go back and read the other stuff, or continue forward from the other one. But yeah, it's basically we're back in the 19th century, and it's like actually Lucifer's son, and there's a demon named Caliban, and the artwork's really great. It's Kelly Jones. You might know him from his work on Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm like just really into horror stuff right now. So I think it's a really good story. I enjoyed it. It's fast paced. The artwork is stunning, obviously. So like I said, you can get it as a standalone, and if you like it, go back and read the other stuff, or just move on from this issue. But I think it only has like 3 more issues anyway, because they only do 12 issues usually on a Vertigo imprint right now. So or you can pay for the trade, but I highly suggest Lucifer.
And for myself, I have 2 other comic books that I'll talk about it on Super Connectivity. But before that, I just want to talk about the gift I got for Father's Day. Children of Infinity, original science fiction stories for young readers.
You're a young reader. Oh,
I was a young reader once, and this is
back in his day.
This is the most important science fiction book I ever read. And I swear to God, you read this book. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. Let me go to the index here. If you can ever find it, Wake Up to Thunder by Dinar Koontz, who some people might have heard of. This is the basis for The Matrix. They stole The Matrix from this. There is a lot of...
They stole The Matrix from a lot of places.
This is like really, you read it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Humans all in vats of jelly, living in a computer-generated fantasy. Okay. But it has but this one here by Harvey L. and Audrey L. Biker, All You Can Eat. It's a comedy story that is one of my favorites. It has the classic line, I have not yet had all I can eat. And it's really beautiful. It's about I don't want to spoil it, but I'll give you what you get, which is it's a man from a dying world where they've run out of food, and what he does is they have him go to other planets that have plenty of food, and he goes to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and as he eats the food, it all gets transported to his home world so they can all eat. And he just says, "I have not yet had all I can eat," and it's a beautiful story. Dozens of great stories in Children of Infinity. I'm so happy to have this book. Like I said, this is one of the most influential books on my childhood, and I'm so happy to have it. And I just wanted to give it a big shout out here on Capes and Lunatics, because I know this is our marquee brand.
We have a marquee brand?
I don't know.
He's not a fancy man.
It's named after the network. I assume this is our most popular show. I'm not a fancy man.
This is our sub network. Don't get Rob upset. Southgate Media Group is the parent company. We love you, Rob. Don't cancel us.
That's right.
Within the Capes and Lunatic imprint.
We only use.
Okay, there we
We
go.
really use money.
We gotta stroke egos to stay on air, people.
The Capes and Lunatics podcast, powered by the Southgate Media Group. There we go.
Yes, there we go.
All right, should we get out of
There
here
we go.
Let's get out of here.
Yes.
before we do
You
anything?
got to come back in a minute anyway, Phil.
Yeah, unless you want to do it in the morning, but we'll talk about that. All right. All right, everyone. Send us your thoughts on all this stuff. Who should Keanu Reeves play? Who's a jerk? Who's not? Email us, capeslunatics@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter @capeslunatics. Instagram, Capes and Lunatics. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And go check out, get in on the ground floor, capesandlunatics.org. And
Update coming soon. I promise.
I was going to say, website designer, Little Hellfire. Where can people get a hold of you?
If you nerds want to talk Designated Survivor because I am shooketh about it, like I binged it all, please tweet me at Little Hellfire, or you can find me on the gram. For my Capes and Lunatic peeps only, at Little Hellfire 69, because I finally have it. Be gentle with the package.
All right, Charlie Esther.
I don't even know what that's from.
If you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email, whether we are Moz and Pause one stage, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. The superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Tristan's asking, how does he click on the book? And of course, you can always follow me on the Twitter Shield, among other things, at Charlie Esther. But not tonight because we were recording and I was driving. At Charlie Esther, that's CHARLIE. ESSER. With the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Bing!
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another week. We have been, no one else will, the Capes.
Ampersand.
It's woo!
The Capes and Woo. Okay.
I'm trying to get on camera to show that he doesn't know how to swipe the book.
The Lunatics.
Yeah, get those kids off those damn Kindles, Charlie.
He knows how to read books. He goes to school.
No, I don't.
Handle it. Yeah. What difference being in a room with Tristan, a hotel room with Tristan than Martha and Zord, huh?
Well, Nas was a nice guy to share a hotel room with. I'll say that.
Yep.